that they're that dominant, and yeah, they're gonna show that off, their dominance. I mean, they just seem to be head and shoulders above everybody else right now.
Yeah.
Um, where everybody, a lot of teams seem like a Celtics, even, like the Cavs. They all kind of seem like they were in the same place they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't make a significant
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, we make it like getting out of the second round is the reason why we fired JB Bickerstaff, who is the head coach of the Pistons now. He back-to-back years, he couldn't get us past that. Now, I still don't think it was his fault, but it could have been more the same this year very easily. I mean, it went to game 7, but one thing that I do like about this, outside of whether or not we win a championship, is for the Cavs' future. Donovan Mitchell's contract is coming up soon. I felt like if we didn't at least make the conference finals, it might be he might start exploring some other options, now you have that, ever since he's been here, we made it to the second round twice. We're now in the conference finals. We have a little bit more leverage to say, hey, we're right there on the doorstep. Like, sign another 2-3 years with us. Like, we can do this thing. So hopefully that's how it turns out, because I'd love to see him back.
So I'm going to ask you your thoughts. What's the missing piece?
Us?
Is it a person? Can they do it with the same crew that they have now, or what? What do they need? Just a little bit of.
They need more depth off the bench. Specifically our bigs. Like, as soon as Jared Allen and Evan Mobley get off the floor, and we saw it in this series, Detroit's bigs, they dominated us. Mm-hmm. They may not be the best talent wise, but physically, they know how to impose their will. They know how to use their bodies, and that's been one of my biggest criticisms with the Cavs is A, they play very soft at times, and B, they don't have enough depth when our starters come off. Because I mean, you got to think about it. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. They're two of the best bigs in the East. But as soon as we get off there, we have nobody to replace that, and teams know that. They're willing to let James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. They'll go on that 10-0 run, whatever it is. But as soon as they come off the floor, they can attack our pretty much our lack of depth everywhere. And trading for Dennis Schroeder, I wasn't crazy about, but I understood it. And Keon Ellis as well during the year. It's for that depth, but I just don't think that's enough to really solve that problem.
Yeah.
So,
because you see with the Thunder, that, I mean, yeah, sometimes SGA and Chet will be on the floor at the same time, and that's tough to handle when they both are. But at least Chet is in there most of the time when SGA is not.
Yep.
And maybe they don't expand a lead in that type of scenario. They're not giving up 8 points back.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's not a significant drop off.
Not as big, yeah. And the rest of their bench as well. They just depth is something that team does have and is going to continue to have when you have the draft picks that they do.
Yeah.
that's going to be killer. I think that's the same way with the Knicks. Maybe not on the big side, but still, handling the ball, they do have some guys that can come in and, at least keep things.
Yeah, keep it at bay.
Hold it down.
Yeah.
While your guys getting a few minutes rest.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the dynasties, the first one that comes to mind is the Spurs. Obviously, they had their starters were Hall of Famers, but they also had a Hall of Famer coming off the bench as a sixth man. Now, granted, that's an ego thing. He could have been a starter and made way more money, Manu Ginobili, anywhere else. Mm-hmm. But he knew what they had. He understood that him coming off the bench was the best way for them to continue that success. And that's what you need. Yeah. You need that depth. You have to have it.
Yeah. And a little bit of hockey. Watched a little bit of hockey this weekend. And I'm rooting, if people don't know, I'm rooting for any Canadian team to lose.
Yeah. Well,
so I was happy to see that the series is being extended in Buffalo, and they'll be headed to Buffalo tonight.
Yeah.
Will be the game 7 for Buffalo and the Canadians. But wow, what a game 6.
Yeah.
In Canada. It was just the whole start of it, just excitement. And, you couldn't go anywhere the whole game. Now we did. We went out to eat, but
Yeah.
we kept checking in because we're like, this is crazy what
Well,
was going on.
what's that? I don't know if I brought it up on here before, but a stat that might warm your heart a little bit is it's been what 35 years since the
Hmm.
Canadian teams won the Stanley Cup Finals. It's been all American
a long
based
time.
teams, so that's like
I'm
last.
for extending that another year.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not mad
I'm
about
just
it.
fuck Canada.
There's the only there. I've said it before. There's only one exception in which I'm okay with it, and that's seeing Connor McDavid get his championship. I love the dude. Like he's one of my favorite players, obviously in the NHL, but just in general because like the way he like carries himself, he's very
Mhm.
like shoulders everything is on him, but he's not drastic with it. Like he has like certain confidence about it to
Mhm.
where, I mean, we saw in the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years ago, he damn near willed that team to come back against the Florida
Mhm.
Panthers. I mean, he's the only player I've ever seen in my life to get an MVP for a playoffs, a finals, whatever it is, and on the losing team. I've never seen that, and
Yeah, that doesn't.
I don't think we'll ever see that again.
That's not usually a thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just crazy to think that everyone's like, yeah, Florida won, but Connor McDavid was so good. We're still going to give him the MVP. And like I said, I'd be hard pressed to think we'll ever see something like that again.
Yeah. Well, he can come play on an American team if he
Yeah, if he wants. Well,
if he wants a cup.
it's very much in the air now because like they got bumped early this year, and it's not through any fault of Connor McDavid. It's not because of Leon Draisaitl. Like they
Right.
show up. It just seems like somewhere if they got the defensive output, they don't have the offensive output. If
Yeah.
they've got the offensive output, they don't have the defensive output. Like their goalie sucks, whatever it is. It's just one of those things where they just can't put it all together for
Mhm.
a whole postseason, and we see that in every sport.
But as we both have agreed in our sports conversations, the hockey playoffs have been a better watch than
Yeah.
the basketball playoffs
Leagues above.
for sure.
I mean, you know,
Been better.
that 8-3 score is probably the most boring score we've seen all playoffs. But
Mhm.
the NBA, I mean, we've had back-to-back games like in the Cavs Detroit series that were pretty much not close. I mean, we're talking game sixes, game sevens, and where it's like you literally could have turned it off and you tune back in fourth quarter and nothing's changed. The NHL playoffs, it's been either a very close game up until late or it goes to overtime.
Yeah.
And that's what we want as spectators. And I was telling you, like I was listening to a radio show on the way earlier here, and I do agree with this take that NHL officials, they don't get involved in the game as much as like other officials. They let them play. Like they don't, first of all, they don't want to be involved in the outcome of it just from
Mhm.
a spectator standpoint because they'll just get hammered, and hockey fans can be a little bit fucking crazy. But
A little.
yeah, but like NBA, it just seems like you see it every time you go up and down the court, there's a foul. There's always a foul, or they don't call a blatant foul in which they would normally call a foul. So it's like there's just too much left up in the air in the hands of the officials. Whereas NHL just seems like the officials are like, hey, we're going to let these boys play. Whoever wins, wins.
And what the players want is some consistency,
Exactly.
just so you know
Yeah.
what to expect, so
Mhm.
you can make adjustments yourself. And that's that's just that same way in the WNBA as
Mhm.
well. That okay, you weren't calling this the first half of the game,
Yep.
and now you're calling it.
Yeah. Even the entire season. I mean, we've even seen like certain fouls that happen in the NBA right now in these games. They're not getting called when they've been called before, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you agree with them, whether you think that specific foul was right or wrong, that's not the point. It's about consistency. And when you're at the highest
Yeah.
level, you're at the highest stakes of the season. So you expect the refs to pretty much to be on their A game too. You don't expect them to just be like, oh well, we're just gonna call it how we feel today. Like
Yeah.
no, I'm all about keeping refs out of the game. Let the boys play, and the outcome is the outcome. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. I think all fans
Yeah.
kind of feel that way. Dawn and I, one of the things that we did this weekend, we did a couple of things. Friday night, of course, we went to see our Phoenix Mercury, and we're hoping that they would get back on track, and they did get back on track, and we had a good time there. Um, we watched some other WNBA games. We came home, watched some that had played previously. We knew the outcome, but we watched anyways, or I did because I'm actually doing that now. I'm
Yeah.
watching other games, even games if they're already over,
Yeah.
because I had something else going on.
Hmm.
Uh, Dawn and I just like sports. That's our number one preference
Yeah.
as far as TV watching goes. And so I've watched quite a bit of the Las Vegas Aces. I don't have the WNBA ticket yet. I was going to find out from our person, our connection with the Mercury. Last year, I thought they gave out, I just didn't do it in time, where you could sign up and they gave you the thing free if you were a season ticket holder.
Oh, I thought you were
It's
gonna
only
say.
$40, but
Okay, the season ticket holder thing made sense. I thought you were gonna say like however many, like the first 100 people sign up and they get the free, like the whole
no,
thing
I
for
think
free.
I don't know if they did it for all season
Wow.
ticket holders, but you know,
That makes sense. I
your
mean,
premium ticket holders, something like that. And because then maybe finding a game here or there that's not highlighted
yeah.
and that you can't find on, but usually you are going to get to see the Mercury's going to be up there now. Vegas, obviously, because they have the reigning MVP, and they're also the champs again.
Yep.
3 out of the last 4 years, Asia Wilson. And I can tell you that me personally, just as a fan, uh, the more I've gotten to watch her play, the more I appreciate her game,
Hmm.
and uh, how much her game is above almost everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even close, because
Yeah.
there's only a half there's a very small group of women that have a mid-range jumper or
Yeah.
shot.
I mean, in basketball in general, is a small group of people.
Well, that's
It's
because of the rules
yeah.
now, and I think that's a lost art.
Yeah.
Uh,
100%.
but if you have that, that's just such an advantage
Yeah.
for your team.
Yep.
Because either you're sprinting to the basket, driving hard, and trying to get the easy layup or draw a foul, or you're just cranking out threes.
Yeah.
And if you're off on the threes, then you're fucked, right?
Yeah.
That's
It's
pretty much how
live
it
or die by the three. Is
live
what
or
they call.
dying by that. Where having that mid-range jumper to kind of keep things going and the points flowing
Yep.
in the back and forth is so huge, and she just has that.
Yeah.
She has that. I mean, that's amongst all the other talents that she has.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Distributing the ball, playing defense, just everything. So I really have gotten to really appreciate her. Our team, we have quite a few new players.
Hmm.
I thought we looked great the first game against the Aces and getting that win, but then the next two losses kind of bit a little bit,
Yeah.
and especially the one where we were pretty much on last Tuesday, where we were pretty much dominating the game, and I take maybe dominating back. We were in control of the game by 6 to 8 points almost the entire fucking game.
Yeah.
We were in control of that. And then to just give it up at the end, and we were kind of in the same position on Friday night.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, weren't we up by just 14 or 17? And where did the lead go? And
Mhm.
then the other teams got it's like, is this going to be another Tuesday? And if that kind of thing happens more than once and it happens in a row, to me, that affects teams.
Yeah.
It affects their psyche, and you have to learn how to close that out. And we did make that push, and we're able to close it out, which was huge. Honestly, no chick she's a new player from Serbia. I absolutely love her. I loved her from the very first fucking game that she played. On Tuesday, she didn't really get as many points. She didn't hardly get any on Tuesday, but she still contributed in a strong way.
Yeah.
Defense and just the way she runs, and because sometimes it happens in the men's game too, where they're like nobody's moving.
Yeah, they
So
just stand around.
you need to move without the ball.
Yeah. Yep.
And the better you can move without the ball, the better the team seems to be,
Hmm.
And she's really super capable of that and keeping moving and just your basic fundamentals. She to me is the epitome of what we think of as a European player
Yeah.
because I just think their fundamentals
Yeah.
are a little bit better than American players in both men and women.
Yeah, they're
Right?
harp. It seems like they're harped on a lot more,
Yeah.
focused. Where in today's day and game, at least in the United States, like it's flash. Everybody wants to make the cool pass. They want to take that three and turn around as soon as they shoot the ball. They don't even watch it go in. Like now, attribute that to Steph Curry. Granted, he's one of one, and not very many people are going to be able to do what that guy did. But it's that influence that he had to where people just wanted to just jack up threes from half court because they thought they could make it. And there's a reason why he's where he is now, and you're not. Like
For
there's
sure.
there's an absolute reason for that.
So one of the things I wanted to get into though today is the fact show the if you would Leo the Travis story.
Yeah, on X.
It's yeah. So it's something that was pointed out that I didn't know at the time, but I'm gonna tell you that this does matter because Dawn and I had an experience at the game Friday night that surprised us a little bit.
Mhm.
I know, and nobody else is going to talk about this, okay? Nobody's going to talk about this. And I got a couple things I'm going to say, and I'm sure they would rather I not talk about it. I would like to have a relationship and be able to get some players and coaches and people on with the Phoenix because I am a season ticket holder. I do want to see them well, but I'm also going to speak the truth too.
Yeah.
And this what I'm going to talk about would probably be a reason not to talk to me. And that's a shame that we can't have those conversations because this is a conversation that needs to be had because it's not just a basketball thing. It to me is broader, a life thing. And there is some serious racism in my mind going on in the WNBA. And it's reverse racism. There is definitely something that with going on with the players in their relationship with Caitlin Clark, but it's not just the Caitlin Clark thing. It's with us, okay? Because I don't know how you can be mad at Caitlin Clark. I do understand how you take it out on her, but it's because of us. And let me explain that. So one of the things was this that was pointed out was the WNBA used this graphic that you can see there that has Asia Wilson on it and you have Angel Reese on it because why wouldn't you? Those are your two big. There's some people. She started off her sophomore campaign. She wasn't quite matching her rookie numbers.
Yeah.
And then this was something else that was a part of it last year is in the games that she did play, which was around 13, if I'm correct. She wasn't shooting the three ball well on away floors on the opponent's court. At home, she was hitting them. Away, not. And this year was starting out like this. I've seen her struggle away already. Now, granted, we're only 4 games in, but these are the trends that we're seeing. But to not have her there, this is as dumb as the U.S. women's team not having her on the Olympic team. I could see not having her highlighted as one of the starting 5 on the Olympic team. Or, maybe her only getting 10, 15 minutes, in the games, but not having her did nothing for the league. It just was so stupid. It was a huge loss for the league because nobody was watching it. And so here's what happened. So first you have that and everybody's shocked, like, what's going on? Because can you imagine putting somebody else in over Michael Jordan, even Scottie Pippen?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? No, Michael Jordan was the Bulls.
Yeah.
Period. He
Yep.
was the Bulls,
Hmm.
right? So here's what happened. I'm not going to give the name, but I am going to be very descriptive. We have a nice black woman that sits behind us. Um, I she's always been nice. We've talked. I I liked her. I thought she was a nice person, but I was very, very surprised when people behind us are talking. Sometimes we join in the conversation, say, because sometimes they're season ticket holders, sometimes ticket holders sell their tickets, or somebody else just moved to that area right behind us. And, I turned around and introduced ourselves,
Yeah.
Dawn and I, that kind of thing, right? I happened to make a statement during the game, and this was in the second period. We have a new player, and they call her Yo-Yo, but it's Johanna. It's something Nokic. So she's already got a nickname. It's Yo-Yo Nokic. That's what they call her. And she's a baller. And she's not like a 10, but she's an 8. She's also attractive too.
Mhm.
She's not ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you could tell me, well, that shouldn't matter. You can say that kind of shit all you want. I'm sorry. For marketing purposes, it does matter.
Well, people talk about how much they're in love with Caitlin Clark. Like I know guys that are like, I didn't know about Caitlin Clark until she was at the WNBA. Now I'm in love with her. I think she's so attractive, this and that. So like, unfortunately, like that is what we know. Like we said, we know it sells.
I don't know. She's not that hot, like
Well,
really,
so
but she's not ugly.
some
But
yeah.
just very plain, no
Yeah.
makeup, just regular
Mhm.
baller. Just she is totally. You totally see her as Indiana or Iowa.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
kind of
Midwest.
just
Yeah.
Midwest kind of girl, right? So I happen to say, like, she's tearing it up again. Our Serbian Yo-Yo Nokic is tearing it up, just getting steals against good players. Okay, because we're uh, a team. What was it? The Minnesota Lynx. Minnesota Lynx are solid,
Mhm.
and they have somebody on their team that was on New York's team last year and also had been on the Phoenix team,
Okay.
and that's Natasha Cloud. And Natasha Cloud can ball; she can handle herself, right?
Okay.
And here's this Serbian girl just doing all the basics. It was almost like watching Hoosiers,
Yeah.
the movie Hoosiers.
Yeah.
She's got a hand up and a hand out and doing it. She's not lazy. She's doing the simple things that nobody fucking does anymore,
Mhm.
right? It wasn't just a little opening where, she takes the ball away. No, it's these other little things that other people aren't doing, that person across from her wasn't used to that kind of pressure, and just fumbling it.
Yep.
And so I happen to say, loud enough for people around me to hear, I think we have our Serbian Caitlin Clark. And the woman behind me was like, oh, no. And we're like, Dawn and I are looking at each other, and Dawn it was surprised Dawn. Dawn says, you don't like Caitlin Clark? No, I don't like Caitlin Clark. Why don't you like Caitlin Clark? Because she was supposed to be the savior of the WNBA. No, wait, we'll get into that. She's supposed to be the savior of the WNBA. And that's just an affront to all the people that have come before her. Like, oh, okay. Because here's the truth. Caitlin Clark has never presented herself in any way other than being humble, and even gone out of her way to make sure she mentions players of the past because of shit like that.
Yeah.
When you hear her talk, she'll always give credit to the ones before us, and talk like that. Yeah, she doesn't. She's not a look at me girl.
No.
In that way. And so that was really a big surprise. Who that woman is really mad at isn't Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin Clark hasn't done anything like that. She's really mad at me. She's really mad at Dawn. She's mad that the growth of the WNBA has come because of Caitlin Clark and people like me. They're mad. And I picked this up last year too. That people are mad that because they even made t-shirts about it. That why that we didn't appreciate or why didn't we support them before Caitlin Clark? I'm not saying there weren't decent players, but none of those players, as great as you think the players were in the 29, because this is season 30, in the 29 other years, none of them drew me to want to go to a basketball game. And the truth is that they better figure this out quick, or they're on the cusp of how they're handling this shit, losing an incredible way to grow the game. This growth is not guaranteed. Not when you treat people like this. And that is, we're the ones that you needed to grow the game. I used to often say that that the women or men of the LGBT community, I'm not going to give all the fucking letters because I don't have time for all the, we're just going to do LGB. How about that? The LGB community, okay? I always say, you know what? They should be here. They should be supporting the WNBA. And the truth, what I found out was, and I've shared this multiple times, you know, on here and just in conversations with people, is they are there, and they are there in force. And so I don't know, unless you create more gay people, okay, and I'm not saying they're not trying. I'm just saying, unless you create more gay people, all the gay people or lesbians that like women, that like basketball, they're already there. They're not sitting at home. They're there. And hats off to them. That's great. You're supporting. But there's no growth there, brother. There's no growth because they already have. The ones that are going to come are going to come.
Mm-hmm.
What they don't have is they don't have you. How many WNBA games you been to?
In my life?
Yeah.
None. Not a single one.
Right. What took me to my first WNBA game was watching a girl her junior year in the finals. I didn't even watch a college basketball game until the finals of her junior year. Caitlin Clark. And then I watched a few more because of her. I watched the women's March Madness her senior year.
Yeah.
I watched other games, and you know, there might have even been a game that she wasn't even playing in, but mostly at least her games during March Madness, right?
Yeah,
because they were being highlighted. Then she gets drafted, right? And then the controversy between her and Angel, I loved it. I didn't shit on Angel Reese for the whole ring thing. You know, I got this. Dude, I love that shit. I love that kind of smack talk because she won.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from her. You could say whatever you want about her and whatever bullshit, but she's legit. And I even stick up for her. I stuck up for her last year. And the me bounds, okay? You and I even talked about it. I stuck up for her. All right? Because it is important to get your own rebound sometimes and score. It is. But she got us to our very first WNBA game. And in the midst of that, they were all chirping. You had various analysts chirping. You had other WNBA players chirping. You had some pretty hard fouls on her. Now, to me, I have shared with everybody that the officiating thing with Caitlin Clark wasn't just a Caitlin Clark thing. It was a WNBA thing. That they were that bad all the time. They weren't just fucking over Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
I was trying to present some clarity from someone who actually was there and not just saying, Caitlin, sticking by Caitlin Clark. Now, I stick up for her, but I'm sticking up for everybody. because it was an everybody thing that the officials were that inconsistent and that poor to the point where I still say today, they are the worst officials of any professional sport, are the officials in the WNBA. They're just terrible. This year, it's not quite as bad as it was last year yet, but we're only a few games in. But there you go.